Mr. Feal, thank you very much indeed for joining us. What is your reaction to the mounting furore over Donald Trump's travel ban?
Well, one, thank you for having me. And just for a disclaimer, I'm neither a Hillary Clinton nor a Donald Trump supporter. I consider myself a liberal Republican, conservative Democrat, independent. I like to think I use common sense before I vote for somebody. But I think this ban is not protecting us in any way. And my question is, why ban those 7 countries when you don't add Egypt and Saudi Arabia and the EAU and other countries? You know, I think this was put together, it was reckless, and doesn't make us any safer. And that's just my opinion. And people will disagree with me, and I respect everybody's opinion. But we're so polarized in the United States right now, when we're split down the middle, and we talk to each other in such a condescending way now. If you don't support my person, I don't support your person. There's no more conversations. There's no more dialogue, and we're missing the point as a nation.
John, you were there on September the 11th. You performed an essential role. It's absolutely heartbreaking situation for your city, and obviously had ramifications across the whole world. You know how frightened people are in America of Islamist, jihadist terrorism. Do you get the sense that there is huge support for this policy, actually, despite your own misgivings about those who are targeted? Absolutely.
And again, I respect everybody's decisions. There's a lot of people that support this, but me individually, I'm not going to live my life in fear. I have a better chance of getting hit by lightning than getting killed by a terrorist. But I'm not naive or gullible. I know there are bad people around the world that want to hurt Americans. They want to hurt people in Britain. They want to hurt people in France. They want to hurt people in democratic democracies. I get that. You know, 15 out of those 19 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia. Why aren't they on that list? These are the questions I have that if somebody would just answer them, I would feel a lot better about his decision-making.
Let me ask you this, John, and Bob, it's very refreshing to hear a non-extreme voice in all this, because part of the problem is that the shrieking is now so loud that reason can't get debated. Let me ask you this. As somebody so integrally involved in America's worst ever domestic terror attack, what do you think should be done to make America safer and to protect Americans from the very, very likely possibility that ISIS will try and attack Americans in America?
Well, listen, I don't have the answers for everything. You know, I walked the halls of Congress for 12 years to get a bill passed twice that helped 9/11 responders who were sick and dying. I've seen Republicans and Democrats. I've been to 3 State of the Unions. And at the end of the day, there's only one party with 2 different ideas. But now you see left wing and right wing. But at the end of the day, people fail to realize that they're both connected to the same bird. And there's not much of a difference. Everybody wants to feel safe. Everybody wants to be protected. You know, I don't think a wall's going to protect us. I think it's isolating us from the world. We can't call ourselves the greatest nation in the world if we're going to block ourselves off. But Border Control agents, they've been asking for better tools and more people for years. You know, while I disagree with Donald Trump's ban, you know, let's go back over the last 5 or 6 presidents and all of those Congresses and Senates that had a chance to pass comprehensive immigration reform, and they all failed. So this is a stain on Washington, D.C., because they can't get their act together. So, you know, I was raised and born to respect the office of the presidency. I'm not going to dump on Donald Trump and bash him, but I expect my president to explain what he's doing. I want him to be smarter than me. I want to be able to have a conversation and go, you know, my president said this, and it sounded good. But when I see something so right, you know, I imagine there was a guy at the end of the bar drunk writing something on a napkin and said, hey, let's make a ban. That's how I felt like about this.
Wow. It's incredibly interesting listening to you, John, and it's actually quite different for us to hear a voice coming from America that's articulating these particular views. John, thanks very much indeed.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. You know, we're all in this together. Nobody wants to see Donald Trump fail. The whole world is watching this man and his cabinet. And, you know, to the people of Britain, to the people of France, and to those who have a democracy, you know, protest all you want, but protest for the right reasons. You know, Starbucks said they were going to add 10,000 Muslims and immigrants to give them jobs. But what about all of those soldiers who come home from war that 22 are committing suicide a day? Give them a job. You know, we have to put ourselves and get ourselves and our priorities straight.
John Feal, thanks so much.